hey, I might as well make use of this room. I'm sitting waiting for Fawn to be released from her last meeting for the day. They've been running these really long days at work, and yeah, I try to be supportive. I'm retired already, and she helps me with everything. Like I said before, concierge is a good word for her. The services that she provides just takes care of everything. If now I kind of think twice before I even mention that I need to get this done or that done, because then she's really um, very enthusiastically on whatever it is that I might need taken care of. Let me just. Oh. So much for the efficacy of using duct tape and I think it's called a pon, which is like a serving thing. Shortly after the phone fell, then a bunch of people started coming into the room and cleaning up their workstations that were off camera to the sides. And yeah, the whole thing, it was over. I forgot to bring my selfie stick, which doubles as a light-duty tripod. But what I wanted to talk about, it was a great evening. Other than there was some work drama, I felt bad for some of the people. But I'll try and throw a couple up at the end. We did take a bunch of like selfies and group photos and things like that. That was fun. I was invited to be in a lot of the pictures and such, and that was nice. And I'm not a work person there. I'm a sort of an unofficial student and unofficial spouse of one of the teachers, so it's sort of, my status is pretty simple, really. But it also, as a foreigner, your status, and I don't mean status high or low, I mean what status you're at, like a status light on a piece of equipment. You can come and go depending on all kinds of political things to whatever groups you're socializing with. In the villages, as a foreigner, your situation and all that is somewhat politically charged, whether you'd like it to be or not. It's just that'll be the reality of it, in my opinion. Anyways, what I wanted to do, all that to warm up. Obviously, you're trying to set up your life, and as Maria Shriver, Arnold Schwarzenegger's former wife, once said, and I agree with her, that who you marry will have a greater effect on your life than what you do. Your career choices, and maybe not literally always true, but it's I think it's true a lot. An important thing to really think about, whether you're back in the States or in Thailand. But here I think it can really impact you, because the tremendous variation of sort of relationship types you can have here, whether you know it or not. What I wanted to do is try and keep it light and have a little fun with it too. But some of it's obviously serious. But you're dating and you get to know a lady a little bit. Maybe it's your second, third, 10th date. I don't know, whatever. Maybe you just met the girl, and gee, you're thinking, she's really put together. She looks really good. And remember, you're a Westerner. This is, my channel is basically about older Western guys coming here and dating, and some date women their age. A lot of them date younger women. A lot of them date very much younger women, which is so odd, except, oh, wait a minute, almost all of the really wealthy and powerful people back in my home country of America do the same thing when they can. And, all the celebrities do, oh, maybe it's not so unusual. How about, I didn't know that. Anyways, and they do then dating. Dating is an important thing. So back to that. So you're dating from a Western perspective. You're looking at a lady from a Western perspective, and that's great to a point. But you're not in the West anymore. Here in Thailand, you're in Thailand, right? So a lady that looks really put together and really maybe initially or immediately appealing to your eyes, your taste, as it were. Not to objectify women. That isn't my point, but I got to use words, okay? And might mean she's got a very westernized appearance, and that can be okay. That can be perfectly okay. I've got a really good friend here, a female friend who's kind of Western in a lot of ways, out of modern in a lot of ways, and she's as good-hearted as they come. That one doesn't, mean the other. Having said that, it can be. I don't know if I would go so far as to call it a red flag. I think it's a small red flag, but it's a red flag in that, I'm going to say it's a red flag in that it's something that you should pay attention to. all by itself, it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Whether a young lady dresses modern and is sort of styled her appearance in a modern Western way, or has kept it more Thai village. As you know, I know I've got my own baggage here, and forgive me, but I'm a human being, and I'm not a scientist. And there is no Reset with Rob Institute, by the way. For those that were thinking, I've got a sprawling 72-acre campus with dozens of buildings and professors and students. I do not. I have an iPhone, a 150-watt microphone that clips onto my collar, and a selfie stick. Okay, that's all I have. It would appear I've landed in a bit of a unique position here in terms of some of the people that, by pure happenstance, and I can take no credit for, are immediately proximate to me in my life. I've got some really cool and interesting people and some very smart people right around me. And for whatever reason, they're willing to really share with me about this. I did have somebody once accuse me of, but they accused me of having some kind of truth serum because I evaluated a corporate group at one for. It's a long story we're not going to get into today. And I got to the root of the truth of something rather quickly. And the CEO of the company, which was a pretty powerful company, actually had a meeting with me. And he asked me how the hell I found out what the hell I found out. Because he was really shocked and he was a bit pissed at his own people. So I do have, there's something, everyone's got their own vibe we give off, their own antenna, their own whatever they radiate. And there is something about me. It does sort of seem to, people tend to tell me the bottom line truth in a lot of things. So you meet this lady and she's got a Western modern appearance to your eyes, and that looks like an immediate, and most guys really do take that as a positive. But there is another side to that. That could mean she has a lot of experience with foreign men, foreign people, but foreign men in particular. And that could be an experience that you might not appreciate as her future boyfriend or husband. I don't know how you feel about those things. That's up to you. You're obviously an adult. You're probably statistically on my channel about my age, so that's up to you, pal. It's all cool with me. And then, so I would say that's kind of a red flag. Like, most guys, like I'll go, and the little that I socialize with expats here, but I tend to like the cute little village girl. Hello there, cute little village girl. How are you? Oh, she liked that. She has a really pretty natural smile, and she just gave me that. That's nice. And that's true. That's my thing. That's what I like. But I seem to be in the minority on that. The handful, or that's probably been about a year and a half I've lived here, maybe longer. I've been to an expat bar maybe a dozen times. And if a particularly pretty lady walks in or walks by, we might discuss that, or somebody might look and raise their eyebrows and go, "Oh my gosh," or "Oh, that's so and so's wife, isn't she pretty?" or whatever, whatever. It seems to me guys pretty consistently like that modern, kind of more modern, westernized look, and that's great. But I would put that down as a red flag personally. Whether you like that or not doesn't matter. That to me can indicate that either two big possibilities of why I call it a red flag is one, they've spent a lot of time in a tourist area, maybe working there. We all know what that can possibly mean. And then two, if they've never been there and they're really aspiring to that, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the ladies that do that, plastic surgery is super common here, and they use a lot of kind of temporary lower cost methods. Fillers and such, and the doctors here are super good at it. But I'm more of a diamond in the rough kind of guy than wanting somebody that's peaked everything to their absolute best they can, because they've really put the goods in the window, as they say. And I don't know. It's never been my thing. I would just consider it a red flag. And enough about that. But the other one that's kind of interesting. So so back home, prettier or not or whatever. But here, I think there's a little potential baggage to that. Up to you if you feel that way or not. The next thing is, so you meet lady and she drives like a nice car. Back home we would always say, "Oh wow, she's, maybe anyone with a nice car, male or female doesn't matter, but oh, maybe they got their act together, this and that, and we don't realize how much debt people carry." And here, I think that's more common on the negative side of that. I think people that really, they do these long-term, and they kind of colloquially call them life loans. They're not literally that, so let's not all pounce on that as a point. But they refer to them as life loans, and they're very long-term at exorbitant interest rates. The interest rates vary widely, but none of them are. I've never heard of a good interest rate here. I've never heard of that, so they're bad. And people with a nice car, almost everyone I've known so far, like a newer car, anyways, in particular, they've borrowed for that, and they're really under a lot of debt. And we kind of talked about the debt on this channel, and this isn't going to be a video just about debt, but we're talking about kind of like hidden red flags, like non-obvious red flags, I think is kind of what this is about. So you see a lady, all pretty and all nice. Well, maybe a westernized appearance. That's why you're thinking she's pretty, because you're West. Your culture's West. And then two, now she drives a really nice car. Yeah, okay, well, that could mean like $1 million baht in debt. I mean, if she went in $500,000, 800,000 on the car, that might not be, statistically, how likely is that that's her first time she went into debt? So that person might have $1.5 million baht in debt. Well, that's 50 grand US. You know, that's now if you're wealthy enough and you don't care and you want to just go bailing out one lady to the next 50 grand at a time, I mean, you can. And I certainly know some guys that have done that. Looking back, they don't go, wow, that was a smart move. I'm glad I did that. I haven't heard that comment on that one. So I just caution you to be careful there. And then the other one that I think is becoming regular viewers of the channel will see this coming, but newer viewers may not, if they speak a lot of English. And I say that as my lady speaks a lot of English. So believe me, I understand what I'm saying here. In Fawn's case, she's a language teacher, and she studied English language at the university. Okay, so there's at least a plausible reason why she speaks so much English. Okay, and let's keep the comments super respectful on that point. Okay, right. In Fawn's case, she kind of passes the test, right, because she studied English at the university, and she uses it in her daily life because she teaches it. That makes sense. And I've got other friends, they're Thai wives at the university, and went on to teach English to Thais. And they speak fantastic English, and that's great. But all of the women who speak English really well aren't English teachers. In fact, very few of them are, in my opinion. And in fact, what it seems to be true is that the overwhelming majority of them learn English in the tourist areas, and a lot of the tourism here is sex-based. So unfortunately, when you're just meeting a new girl and she's all pretty and Western looking and she's got a great car and she speaks English, you're thinking, oh, bing, 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 great, great, great. I'm going red flag, red flag, red flag. And it doesn't mean this person's bad. It doesn't mean anybody's bad. But it does mean that's something you should be paying attention to. You know, it's easier if we're more interested in the lady that works at the dry cleaning shop or whatever it is next door that isn't involved in all this kind of stuff and has more of a normal, typical Thai appearance and doesn't speak a whole lot of English. And I'm just saying that lady's probably statistically a lot safer bet. We could probably go on and do this all day, and that isn't really my goal here. But you kind of get the idea. There's three kind of things that I see guys really flocking to that I think are all red flags, and again, doesn't mean it's bad or anyone you want to avoid. I'm not saying to avoid anyone. I'm just saying pay attention, because the scammers or a really a person that means you harm in some way, they're not going to announce this to you. They're going to submarine you. They're not going to tell you any of this, and I don't want you to find out a painful way. I did that for you. My other friends here that told me these stories, they did that for you. You don't really need to do that. Anyways, that's what I want to talk about. So that's a little 3 non-obvious red flags. We'll come up with some kind of name for this video. I don't know. Thanks. Bye. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect. As promised, here's a couple pictures from last night. Obviously, a really pretty picture of me and Fawn. And I put this on as a goof, another lady's camera roll, a friend of mine there. And then this is Fawn's older sister joking around about stealing me.